A lot of you asked for it, so here we are. Today I'm gonna tell you exactly how my wife and I, plus our 4-month-old daughter, are able to spend less than 1,400 euro in total per month for our life in Austria. Our low living expenses enabled us to invest the large majority of our income for the past 6 years. As a result, combined with some decent investment returns over this period, we've been able to grow our combined net worth to over 300,000 euros by now, with the main pillar of our investments being low-cost passive ETFs covering the entire global stock market. This low cost of living, combined with the size of our portfolio, now enables us to be a lot more relaxed when it comes to work, so that we're able to enjoy as much time as we want with our 4-month-old daughter together as a family. We feel extremely lucky to be able to do that, and when looking back, we're very happy about the decisions we made to get to this point. So, in this video, I'll first give a bit of background information about how we got here and our mindset when it comes to what we spend money on. And then I'll break down our monthly expenses as a family of 3 in detail. Who knows, you might even get a few ideas for something you can optimize in your own life. Or maybe you think we're crazy by the end of the video. Either way, I hope you enjoy it. Before I jump right into it, don't forget to subscribe for more videos specifically for European investors. And if you'd like to support me, feel free to use my links in the description below to the best low-cost brokers for ETFs. So here's something you should know about the two of us. I'm 32 years old and self-employed, while my wife is 29 and employed full-time. Okay, technically, she's still on parental leave until October, which is when our daughter will turn 1 year old. During this time, she receives 80% of her previous salary as an employee. Neither of us are high income earners. When looking at the statistics in Austria, we're part of the middle class with our household income. And yet, when we compare our situation to many of our friends, some of which earn a lot more money than we do every month after taxes, we have substantially more in savings and our life is less stressful as a result. This is due to a few habits we developed over time and some conscious choices we made. Both of us are pretty minimalist when it comes to what we spend our money on. We actually discovered the concept of minimalism in 2016 after listening to Joshua Fields Milburn on the School of Greatness podcast, and it really resonated with us. This doesn't mean we're cheap. We simply ask ourselves 3 questions before spending our money. Does the value from a purchase or restaurant visit match the price we're paying for it? Is whatever we're buying worth a certain number of work hours required to pay for it? Or would we get more enjoyment by having more free time and needing to work less instead? And lastly, if we're buying stuff, do we really need it? So is it something we'll be using long term and it's going to make our life better? Or are we making an impulse purchase simply because something is on discount? And this, in combination with our pursuit of financial independence, after coming across the concept in 2017 when we listened to Mr. Money Mustache on a Tim Ferriss podcast, means we're able to put aside the majority of our income every month. The thing is, if your goal is to one day reach financial independence, meaning being able to purely live off your investments long term, it doesn't only matter how much money you make. What actually matters is how much you're able to save and invest on a regular basis. And to be able to save a good chunk of what you make, it's worth reviewing your monthly expenses. My guess is you'll find plenty of things you're spending money on that could be optimized. These could be things that don't provide added value to your life and that might be worth cutting altogether or replacing with something that's more important to you. Obviously, you're the only one who knows what you value most in life and what's worth the price to you. But maybe some of our thoughts and how we spend our money can provide some inspiration. Which brings me to our monthly expenses as a family of 3. So my wife and I, plus our 4-month-old daughter, living in Vienna, Austria. Let's begin with our biggest monthly expense, which is housing. This probably doesn't come as a surprise, as I think housing is the most significant cost factor for most people. Trying to optimize this part of your expenses can make a massive difference, as it has done for us. Our low housing costs have been a major driver in us being able to maintain a savings rate of over 70% for many years now. We currently pay a total of 688 euros in housing costs per month. These include rent, renter's insurance, electricity, heating, and internet. We got extremely lucky with the 82 square meter 3-room apartment we moved in last year. We were waiting for an offer this good for a long time. Rent prices on the open market in Vienna are usually a lot higher than what we're paying. Usually you pay between 10 to 15 euros per square meter for a nice apartment. But Austria has something that's relatively unique compared to other countries. There are a lot of housing co-ops that you can sign up for. You just need a few years of patience as well as some luck before you receive an interesting offer. With these housing cooperatives, you also need to pay a higher lump sum up front, in our case 10,500 euros when we moved in. However, this money is not lost. You get it back when you move out. They only deduct 1% per year of you living in the apartment. Obviously, me telling you how lucky we got with our rent is not going to help you in your situation in your country. So let me just say this. The two of us lived in a much smaller studio apartment for 7 years where we paid even less rent than we do now. That's despite friends and family members frequently encouraging us to move to a larger place. They kept saying we could definitely use more space, we don't need a child for that. But this was a conscious decision and we loved our time there together. We both had the mindset that we would much rather have low monthly living expenses trying to make it work in a smaller smaller space. If that means we have to worry less about how much money we make, how high our fixed costs at home are if we want to spend more time abroad, we have more money to spend on things that are important to us, and lastly, if it means we get to save a lot more money on our pursuit of potentially being able to retire early one day. We only started actively looking for a larger apartment last year once my wife became pregnant, and luckily we found this one. It's perfect for the three of us, so hopefully we never have to move out. Our second largest monthly expense is food, at 465 euros per month. This includes a small breakfast we share on a weekly basis in a coffee place, which tends to be the only time we don't cook at home. We prepare everything else ourselves as we both really enjoy cooking and we like the taste of our home-cooked meals more. And no, we don't live off rice, beans, oats or other inexpensive foods. We've actually been eating low-carb keto for about 8 years now, as that resolved all our previous health issues and it just makes us feel our best. Which means we eat higher priced foods like meat, fish, eggs, bacon, butter, or goat cheese on a daily basis. Then again, we usually just have 2 big meals every day and we don't need a bunch of snacks every few hours. We tend to both skip breakfast and to just drink coffee instead, but since my wife is breastfeeding, she sometimes has an extra meal in the morning. And when there are discounts on food items we use regularly, I usually buy a bigger quantity at once, and if it's something like meat, I then split it into portions and freeze it for future meals. This way, we've been somewhat able to mitigate the inflation we've seen over the past year as far as prices are concerned. We also don't drink alcohol, and we're lucky to have some of the best tap water in the world in Vienna. As a result, we don't need to buy bottled water, and we don't drink fruit juices or soft drinks either. That in itself is saving us a lot of money as well. This brings me to our third biggest monthly expense, transportation. However, since we don't own a car, we've never really felt the need for one in Vienna. We only spent a total of 61 euros per month on our yearly public transport tickets. Maybe we'll need a car in the future and that's perfectly fine, but until then we're saving ourselves a ton of costs, time and energy that comes with car ownership. And who knows, maybe renting will make more financial sense for those few occasions where we actually end up needing a car. Next, there are other items we need, like diapers for a little girl, toiletries, kitchen supplies, etc. Basically non-food items from the supermarket. These are about 57 euros per month right now. I'm also very lucky that my wife looks great without makeup, so she doesn't use or buy any makeup and skincare products, which usually cost a lot of money. All she uses is an inexpensive shower gel and shampoo from DM, and occasionally a perfume from Zara. As for travel, we haven't traveled anywhere yet with our baby, so we'll find out this year. That being said, we usually stay with friends in Croatia or with family members in Rome, so our biggest cost is usually just the flight ticket itself. And yes, I also noticed flight prices have shot up substantially this year. As a result, for now I included flights for the three of us to 2 different destinations back and forth based on current prices. One trip to Split in Croatia for 350 euros and one to Rome in Italy for 200 euros. That's a monthly average of 46 euros. The first of the last 3 positions is a gym membership for 30 euros per month, as I enjoy the change of scenery and the comfort of having a dedicated place to work out in about twice a week. That's even though I found out over the past couple of years that I can easily work out at home for free simply using resistance bands with similar results. Last but not least, we have our 2 mobile phone contracts for a combined 17 euros per month, and 5 euros we spend on subscriptions like Netflix and Spotify, which we share with friends or family members. Which means our total expenses as a family of 3 are currently 1,369 euros per month, or about 685 euros per person, split between my wife and I. We can even round up our monthly total to 1,400 euros to account for smaller irregular expenses I may have missed in today's calculations, some of which I'll mention in a second. For example, my wife cuts my hair every week with a machine instead of me needing to go to a hairdresser. And yes, I know I don't have a lot of hair to begin with, at least not in places where it would be useful. And she gets hers cut in Budapest once a year, where she only pays 15 euros for it. I actually also cut her hair once, but for some strange reason, she hasn't asked me to do it since. To this day, I still wonder why. We also spend very little money on clothing. I haven't felt the need to buy anything new for myself in a long time. I have a few shirts that I really enjoy wearing on a regular basis, plus my 2 favorite jeans, so I'm pretty much set as far as clothes go. Meanwhile, we bought our daughter's clothes used a few months ago for very little money, and actually a lot of them are presents from friends and family. We also bought all the other baby essentials like crib, stroller and baby carrier secondhand for very little money, which saved us about 80% of what they would have cost new. And once she doesn't need them anymore, we'll most likely be able to sell them to someone else for pretty much the same price we paid. One thing I haven't mentioned yet is that right now we're also getting 182 euros worth of monthly child support in Austria and 2,000 euros worth of tax savings per year via a family bonus, which when combined average out to 349 euros of extra disposable income every month. This would actually lower our total out-of-pocket cost of living to only 1,020 euros per month for a family of 3. Then again, I'm sure our spending will increase as our daughter gets older and she starts going to kindergarten. Now, after looking at all of our expenses, you may come away from the video thinking that we're crazy, cheap or something else, and you're free to feel that way. Yet for us, we feel like we're living a rich, luxurious life filled with everything that's important to us, and we couldn't be happier about how everything turned out. Of course, your circumstances very likely differ from ours depending on where you live. But I think being conscious of where your money goes and making sure that those expenses align with what you value can have a significant impact. Still, I want to know what you think about our expenses. And how much do you spend every month, either alone or as a family? Please let me know in the comments. Before you take off, don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one, and if you'd like to support me, feel free to use my links down below in the description to the best low-cost brokers in Europe for ETFs, which we use for the majority of our investments as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time.